Have you ever wondered how the enduring conflict between Hamas and Israel began? The roots of this dispute are deep, tangled in a rich tapestry of history, ideology, and territorial claims. To trace the inception of the conflict, we must journey back to the year 1948, a pivotal moment when the State of Israel was established. This historic event, celebrated by some as a triumphant return to their ancestral homeland, was seen by others, particularly the Palestinians, as a catastrophic displacement. Many Palestinians were forced to leave their homes and lands, an event they refer to as the Nakba, or the catastrophe. This mass displacement seeded the first sprouts of discord, setting the stage for the enduring conflict we witness today. Fast forward to the late 20th century, the year 1987 marked the birth of Hamas, an Islamic resistance movement. Born out of the First Intifada, or uprising, Hamas was primarily a response to the perceived failure of secular Palestinian nationalism to effectively challenge Israeli occupation. With a charter grounded in Islamic principles and a commitment to an armed struggle against Israel, Hamas represented a new front in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The ideological differences between Israel and Hamas further fueled the fire of this conflict. On one side, Israel, a state built on the Zionist vision of a Jewish homeland, and on the other, Hamas, with an unwavering commitment to the establishment of a Palestinian state in the same territory. This fundamental divergence in goals, coupled with territorial disputes, has formed the crux of the conflict. Over the years, these disputes have escalated into numerous military confrontations, each marked by a tragic loss of life and a further hardening of positions. The volatile mix of ideological differences, territorial claims, and political power struggles has created a conflict that is as complex as it is enduring. This marked the beginning of a long-standing and complex conflict between Hamas and Israel. A conflict that continues to evolve, with each new chapter adding another layer of complexity to this intricate narrative of struggle, survival, and sovereignty. What were the key moments that escalated the Hamas-Israeli conflict, you might ask? Allow me to take you on a journey through time, where we'll unravel the significant events that have shaped this long-standing conflict. We begin in 1987, the year of the First Intifada or uprising. This was a period of heightened Palestinian resistance against Israeli rule, which saw the emergence of Hamas as a major player in Palestinian politics. The grassroots nature of this uprising brought the Palestinian cause to the forefront of international attention, intensifying the conflict. Fast forward to 1993, when hope seemed to emerge on the horizon with the Oslo Accords. This agreement, signed by Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization, was meant to lead to a two-state solution. However, it was met with opposition from Hamas and other factions who viewed it as a betrayal of the Palestinian cause. The accords inadvertently deepened the divide and fueled further resentment. The turn of the millennium marked the onset of the Second Intifada, a period of intensified Israeli-Palestinian violence. Triggered by the controversial visit of then-Israeli leader Ariel Sharon to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, this period saw a rise in suicide bombings by Hamas and severe Israeli counterattacks. It was a turning point that marked a significant escalation in the conflict. Finally, we come to the year 2006, when Hamas, to the surprise of many, won the Palestinian legislative elections. This victory led to a split between the Gaza Strip, controlled by Hamas, and the West Bank, governed by Fatah. The international community largely sided with Fatah, isolating Hamas and setting the stage for future conflicts. These significant events added layers of complexity to the already tense relationship between Hamas and Israel. Each turning point has left an indelible mark on this long-standing conflict, shaping the course of events and leaving us where we are today. As we move forward, it is crucial to understand these historical contexts to navigate the path towards a hopeful and peaceful resolution. How has this conflict impacted the lives of everyday people in these regions? Let's delve into the humanitarian aftermath of this ongoing struggle that has left scars on the lives of Palestinians and Israelis alike. The war has not only taken a toll on the land and infrastructure, but it has also deeply affected the people living in these regions. The civilian casualty numbers are staggering, with hundreds of lives lost. These are not mere statistics, but fathers, mothers, children, friends, individuals whose lives were abruptly ended by the violence. The conflict has also led to a significant displacement of people. Homes have been destroyed, neighborhoods reduced to rubble, forcing families to flee in search of safety. The violence has uprooted countless individuals, leaving them homeless and in a state of constant uncertainty. The trauma of losing their homes, their sense of security, and the life they once knew is unimaginable. The economic hardships faced by the people are another facet of this crisis. The blockade on Gaza by Israel and Egypt, for instance, has led to an energy crisis. With the power station in Gaza currently producing electricity for only 12 hours a day, using diesel fuel, the people are enduring long hours of darkness. This not only affects their daily living conditions, but also hampers essential services like healthcare and education. Moreover, the preparation for potential ground invasion and the widespread bombing have further crippled the economy. Jobs are lost, businesses are shut, and the prospects of a stable income have dwindled. This economic instability, combined with the physical destruction and loss of life, creates a vicious cycle of poverty and despair. Let's not forget the psychological impact. The constant fear, anxiety, and trauma have left deep emotional scars, especially on the children. The sound of a siren or a loud bang can trigger panic and distress, a grim reminder of the war they're living through. The cost of this conflict is devastatingly high, with civilians bearing the brunt of the suffering. This is the untold story of the everyday people in these regions, a story of resilience and survival amidst a backdrop of violence and despair. How has the conflict evolved in recent years, and what is the role of the international community? This question is more pertinent than ever as we delve into the recent developments in the Israeli-Hamas conflict. In the past few years, the situation has drastically escalated. Notably, Israel is currently gearing up for a potential ground invasion, a move triggered by a surprise attack from Hamas, resulting in significant civilian casualties. This operation, dubbed Swords of Iron, has seen Israeli forces massing near the Gaza Strip, preparing for a complete siege. The tension is palpable, and the fear of this war morphing into a larger regional conflict is a growing concern. Simultaneously, tensions are rising on Israel's northern border with Lebanon, where exchanges of fire with Hezbollah, another group backed by Iran, are becoming increasingly frequent. The potential of a second front opening up in the north adds another element of uncertainty to the situation, but the conflict isn't isolated. Iran's involvement, as suggested by reports, adds a significant layer of complexity. Iranian security officials are believed to have partnered with Hamas, planning this latest series of strikes against Israel. This partnership, if confirmed, signals a worrying escalation, transforming a long-standing tension into a more immediate and dangerous conflict. On the other hand, there are also efforts aimed at alleviating the situation. Qatar, for instance, has pledged $60 million to build a natural gas pipeline from Israel into the Gaza Strip. This project, supported by European stakeholders, aims to end the energy crisis in Gaza, a crisis that has been exacerbated by the Israeli and Egyptian blockade. Meanwhile, the international community is actively trying to mediate. The United States, for example, has dispatched its most advanced aircraft carrier and strike group to Israel's coast in a show of support. Yet, each country's stance adds its own set of dynamics to the conflict, a testament to the intricate and volatile nature of international politics. In conclusion, the recent escalation of the Israeli-Hamas conflict is not only a result of internal tensions, but is also deeply intertwined with international politics and strategic alliances. The international community's involvement adds another layer of complexity to this conflict. What does the future hold for the Hamas-Israeli conflict? This question lingers in the minds of many as we grapple with the complexities and uncertainties of the current situation. Predicting the future is a tricky business, especially when it comes to matters of international politics and conflict. But let's explore some possibilities. One scenario is the continuation of the conflict, with periods of escalated violence followed by tense periods of relative peace. This cycle has been a pattern in the past and could very well continue into the future if no substantial changes are made. This may involve further ground invasions, airstrikes, and continued tension on the Gaza Strip. Another scenario could involve peace negotiations. Over the years, there have been numerous attempts at peace talks with varying degrees of success. It's possible that future negotiations could lead to a more lasting peace agreement. But this would require significant political will and mutual concessions from both sides, something which has proved challenging in the past. Increased international involvement is another potential future scenario. We've seen countries like Qatar stepping in to alleviate the energy crisis in Gaza, and the US dispatching its carrier strike group to Israel's coast. The role of international actors could expand, potentially leading to more concerted international efforts to broker peace. And then there's the wildcard scenario, A major event or shift in power dynamics could dramatically change the course of the conflict. This could be anything from a change in leadership, a significant military development, or a major geopolitical event. The future of the Hamas-Israeli conflict is shrouded in uncertainty, but amidst this uncertainty, the hope for peace remains. It's a hope shared by civilians on both sides of the conflict, by international observers, and by anyone who values human life and dignity. It's important to remember that conflicts are not just about politics and power, but about people. The people of Israel and Gaza, who live under the shadow of this conflict, deserve a future free from fear and violence. And so, as we look to the future, let's not just focus on the potential for conflict, but on the potential for peace. Because ultimately, that's what everyone is hoping for. As the world watches, the hope for a peaceful resolution persists despite the challenges.